We're gonna start it right there. All right, all right, all right. Whoa.
Well, you can flick it out.
Welcome to the Everyday Gear Channel. My name is Will.
I am Max.
Yep.
What's funny about that?
I just thought it was the way you said it. I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Well.
yeah.
All right. Okay.
Hey, Everyday Gear Channel.
Hey,
Max and Will, what's going on?
we have a channel and we talk about sharp things. And today we're gonna do a little topic video instead of just a review video necessarily about types of knives, specifically folding tactical knives and why you would carry one versus a exchangeable blade utility knife, or why you would rather carry one of these instead of one of those.
Yeah.
Not something you hear about too much in the everyday gear kind of world.
No, because the like EDC community is just really stoked into these kind of knives, and that's cool. That's fine. Like, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I own more of these black, you know, defensive knives than I do razor blade knives.
For sure.
So honestly, that was probably the only one I have, and I gave it to Will. So that's cool. But I think both knives serve a purpose, and there's always a spot where, you know, I'll need one of those more than I'll need one of these. So what do you think?
I never really used to be into carrying these. I've always owned a couple of these. Everybody has one of these.
Yeah, everyone's got like 4 of those and 0 blades to put in.
I have a couple of these, and I do have blades to put in them, but I've always had these, but they always kind of stayed with the tools. They stayed with the truck, whatever.
Yeah, in the bottom of your toolbox.
Yeah, they never really got use just in terms of carrying them around. Now, also, the whole time I've been into carrying gear, there have been these. The folding, there are every single hardware store and car part store and whoever else makes one of these. These kind of like $10, $15 folding, basically one of these that folds in half, that weighs 9 pounds. Everybody has seen these. And I've never really owned one of these because I was never really into them, but I have been carrying this a lot more. I've actually been carrying this in the pocket watch coin pocket of my jeans while I work on stuff, just because I'm finding that carrying one of those doesn't actually solve a whole lot of problems for me when I'm doing woodworking and when I'm doing other hobby type stuff working on cars. That thing, I blew through 2 Kershaws in the last 12 months because I would rather carry one of those than one of these. It's just because of so much cutting of like copper and opening stuff and cutting through just crap. So that's where I think there's a place for this stuff, is if you are someone who cuts through a lot of really crappy things all the time, carpet, you know, cutting ends off of things, any kind of construction work or utility work. That's why these were invented, and that's still the best use for these, and you should use one of these if you need to do those kinds of things all the time.
Yeah.
And some of these folding ones are actually really nice. I've been looking into the new Milwaukee knife that just came out. The Walt makes one that looks really cool. The Irwin ones look cool. This is a
Craftsman, I think.
Kind of old schooly Craftsman one that's actually pretty nice. Has like little walnut handle scales. The one thing that sucks about almost all of these is the pocket clip is usually tipped up or tipped down, and terrible.
Oh, it's the size of frickin' Titanic. It's
it's
massive.
The clip is not good. It did come with this pouch, though.
Yeah.
Neato beans. Might throw this on the belt.
For sure.
So for me, would this replace carrying an EDC type knife for me? No, I still prefer to have that style of knife, but I can tell you now for the last 6 months it's been so nice cutting through 100 boxes or cutting through all kinds of just crap and just going, oh, okay, and throwing a new blade in it in 2 seconds.
Yeah, switching out the blades instead of sharpening it or whatever.
Yep.
I think for me, there's definitely been a couple places, honestly, most places that like teens work or whatever, You're not supposed to carry a knife like this.
Right.
But you can have a box cutter. And even at the farm I used to work at, we weren't supposed to, or did anyway, because, it's just a tool. It's not anything crazy. But we were supposed to carry these, and a lot of people did. And, yeah, they work. The blades are chintzy at best. So, you can definitely do more with this blade in terms of, like, prying or trying to cut through, like, harder materials or whatever. But it's also always good to, it's also good to use the right tool for the job.
For sure.
So, like, if you cut carpet with this, there's something wrong with you.
It's going to go to hell real quick.
Yeah, and that's like I said, it's the cool thing about this is if the blade gets dull, you just switch it out and you're good to go. Nowadays they do a really nice job of making these not super silly. Because that's kind of silly. It works, but it's like this is it's better for your pocket. It doesn't look ridiculous. Kinda with the clip, but it's just I think it's a good option. If you work in an environment where you feel like razor blades would be very beneficial, but you want to carry this, why don't you carry two? I carry two knives on me.
Yeah, I
all
carry
the
two
time.
knives anyway.
So there's no downfall of carrying one of these.
Not really,
because like even with plain simple EDC tasks like cutting boxes, cutting packages, unless it's like super hard use, this will probably do the job. Now, I'm not saying that this is the way to go over this because, they both have their advantages and disadvantages, but this is a good choice, and I think a lot of people don't see it often. Most people don't even think about carrying one of these just because they have 12 of these. So, just honestly, it really comes down to what you do for a job, a living, your hobbies, stuff like that. But if you're on the fence about it, carry both of them.
I would definitely pick one up. And it's funny, most of the 90% of the people I know that aren't into EDC carry one of these.
Oh, for sure.
I can name 20 people that carry one of these.
And then you're super into knives and everything. You're like, oh, maybe he's got a Spyderco. Maybe he's got a Benchmade.
Right.
Most of the time he has that.
Almost all the guys that I work with, guys that I've worked with at farms, guys that I've worked with at shops, every single one of those people carries one of these. And it's usually actually a halfway decent one. Yeah. It's usually an Irwin one. Those are the most popular. Irwin must sell a billion of those things.
The
Husky Home Depot ones. Those are actually not too bad either. They're all kind of the same. But anytime you only really need the last third of your tactical knife, anytime you're just using this much of it, you could probably be getting away with one of these.
For sure.
Not have to worry about sharpening. Not have to worry about breaking it. I do not care what happens to this thing. And that's good for me because I need to stop going through these so fast. I wish we had a better camera so you guys could see how crappy this thing looks. I have just beat the unmerciful crap out of this knife. Whereas had I been using this the whole time, I could have avoided a lot of that. It's super convenient. It makes a lot of sense. The blades are really cheap. I enjoy sharpening knives. I love sharpening knives for other people. I love to sharpen knives, but at the same time,
kind of gets old after a while.
Yeah, and there's something to be said for that, especially like I have to touch up pencils a million times a day, and it eats away at all my tactical knives doing that. Even just simple stuff like that where I can use something that's literally disposable to do that instead. And there are other kinds of blades. I never knew this until like 3 months ago. These blades I have in this one and my other knife are made by DeWalt, and they're carbide tipped. So I've actually cut through wire and stuff with these, and it doesn't nick them up, and they stay sharp forever. You can buy ones on Amazon that are like diamond coated and all kinds of crazy stuff. There's like really intense razor blade culture that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Or you can buy literally a million of them. Not a million, but hundreds of them for very, very little money and just change them out whenever you need to. And
for sure.
Not worry about beating up these.
So it's not like we're telling you to go out and buy razor blade knives and forget about your tactical knives, but carry both of them.
Yeah.
Give this a shot because you'll find out that this does good things and this does things well.
It does.
It's just I think there is enough room
Yes.
in the knife community to have both.
Or both.
For sure.
That's our message of peace and love.
So, yeah, peace and love and knives and sharp things and cut your finger. So, yeah, let's see Everyday Gear channel. Everyday Gear for everyday people. We haven't done that in so long.
Wow. I almost forgot we used to do that.